Hi everyone, Happy New Year. I'm gonna get straight into the video. You've read the title. Okay, January. I lost my job in January of 2025 and I was not in school. And I filled my time with therapy, music, and cooking. Okay, so I forgot to look at these notes before I started filming. Basically, I'm going month by month of 2025 and saying one dim thing and then one highlight. So one kind of dark thing and one kind of bright, like the bright side. That was January. In February, the dim thing, I had a musical disagreement with someone I was working with. The song still came out. It's titled Magenta, and I'm proud of the product. This is a very talented person. I'm happy we put the song out. The highlight, I eventually got a job in February. March, the dim was that I stopped therapy. I think because I was busy with work and my schedule stopped working with a therapist. And I was just working and there was a snowstorm apparently. My highlight, I choreographed content for another musician. They reached out to me. And then I filmed some dance videos for Indecisive, which is my debut single. If you're just watching this video and you're like, I don't know who you are, I just clicked on this. April, there was no dims apparently. I bought some books. I bought Contagious. I bought Audra Dennis Owens' poetry collection titled Speaking Freely. I got a second job and then I started 20 Before 20 in April. Yay. May, the dims. I had no job again. I moved. So I moved to a different state, different coast. But the highlights, I went to a wedding for family, friends. I found songs for myself when I was 13 years old. And I met Lay Banks. That was so cool. June. Dim. I started ballet classes again in June, and then I could feel my injuries, which I just hadn't felt when I wasn't dancing. So I was realizing, okay, I have some stuff to ice in my body. Mostly my ankles, knees, back. Yeah. The highlight of June, I won my first beat battle. So I started making beats a little before my gap year, but I was diving into it and being consistent in my gap year. So I got better at it. I joined some beat battle competition online. So it was just, we would be on Zoom and then everyone would play their beat and then people vote. And I won my first round. So basically it was 5 categories. It was like jazz, then R&B, then pop, then this. And then you play a beat in every round and people vote each time, you against one other person. And I won, I think 3 out of 5 or maybe 4 or 5. I don't remember. And I started taking ballet again in June. July, the dim. I had a coworker. Oh yeah, eventually I got a job. That was in June. And then one of my coworkers from that new job that I got in June left, which I was sad about, but we're still in contact. Highlights of July, I hung out with friends. I met Edith. I read Edith as Faith. I met Edith and Bettina and we hung out, which was so fun. And July is when I booked 265 Fest. August, the dim. I was stressed because of 265 Fest. The highlight, 265 Fest. I joined a band and I was performing a lot in August. September, the dim. 20 before ended because September is when my birthday happened. The highlights of September, I went to my first college football game and I got a role in a play. I performed in a play at a cafe with my bandmate. One of my bandmates was directing the play, which was so fun. I really enjoyed the overall process. And I started editing my 18 EP documentary. October, the dim. I started talking to some guy in September-ish and then he ghosted me in October, which apparently that's all I remember from October, or at least that's a dim thing I remember. The bright side of October, I started recording my debut album. I bought some home studio equipment. I started my first internship and I saw my first concert, which was Doechii, who's my favorite artist, and she's inspiring stuff like this literal video I'm about to put on YouTube, which I'm planning to not edit at all. Let's go. November, the dim. I rushed the release of my documentary. The highlight, I shared my story in the 18 EP documentary and I went to see the Nutcracker. That was super fun. It was beautiful. I shed tears during snow because I remember when I was in Malawi, we did the first Malawi Nutcracker and I played snow. Memories. December, my internship ended, which was the dim or the sad thing of that month. And I was indecisive with my album. I mean, the title, I'm still working on it right now. Like even today, I have a note where I put the potential titles for the album and I added some new stuff today. So it's still in the works. I guess I was just way more stressed about it in December. I'm still stressed about it. Moving on. The highlights of December, I self-recorded a studio session. That was really cool. I was so intimidated by it. But when I started recording the album back in October, if you want to see my notes, I was recording with my bandmate. But then in December, I booked a studio session and recorded on my own. Another highlight of December, I choreographed to my song Falling Down, which I performed at my interview. Was that last week or 2 weeks ago? That was probably last week. Overall highlights of 2025. I made amazing music connections, friends, and community. I was back on my YouTube grind, which this is the first video of 2026. So I'm getting back on the grind again because after I dropped the documentary, I disappeared, except I was posting shorts. And then, what time is it? I have to go back to work soon. My overall highlight, the last overall highlight of 2025 was I was reading one book every 2 months. That's partially true. In January and February, I read the book called Holy Moments. I forget the author's name. I actually have the book. I don't know how fast I can get it though, so I'm not gonna pick it up. But Holy Moments. Wait, let me try to Google it. And then in March and April, I was reading. I mean, technically, that's when I was reading the poetry collection by Audra Stennis Owens. And then, wait, January, February, March, April, May, June. I guess I'd say that's when I was reading Contagious. July, August is when I started reading The Mountain Is You. September, October. I mean, I got another poetry collection. No, actually, September, October, at my internship, they had a bookshelf, and I got this one book called The Girl from the Sea, and it was just some drama novel about some girl who she falls in love with the dude who saves her from the sea. Okay, Holy Moments is by Matthew Kelly, and it's a really good book if you can get it. If you purchase one version of the book, you get 6 for free, which I actually got it for free when I went to Seek at the beginning of 2026. So that was interesting. And then that was September, October. November, December, I was reading a poetry collection. I actually have it. I'm going to run and get it, and then the video is going to end. I ordered this on Amazon. Wait, did you guys watch me run? There's like a hole in my pants. Anyways, 101 famous poems. There's Shakespeare, Edgar Allan Poe, and a bunch of other people. But that was my 2025. I literally thought this video was going to be like 2 minutes. I was like, oh, I'm just going to read through the notebook really quick. But yeah, Happy New Year. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of the year, 2026. I'm trying to be more present and share more because it kind of intimidates me, but I also think about how it's so nice to just see someone be genuine on camera and just be full of life and happy and excited, or just be themselves. Like maybe you're genuine but you're sad, so just be present. And I just want to like share love and have I have good intentions, and that's why I'm posting this video, because I just want to stop getting in my head so much and feel like everyone's judging me, and just I'm here, I'm human, and it is what it is. If you relate, you do. And this video is more for the people who relate, the people who get it, the people who like to at least look at their years and recap. And I usually don't recap my years, but this is the first time for everything. So thank you for watching this video. But yeah, the point of this video is me to at least acknowledge what I accomplished every year. Because when I looked back at 2025 on December 31st of 2025, I was feeling, oh, I didn't accomplish anything. I was so depressed this year. I was lonely. I was just being useless. Those 2 months I didn't have a job. What was I doing? And I was being really hard on myself. But then when I actually went in detail, I actually went through my gallery and I was looking at everything that happened in the year. And I was like, girl, you still, even when you didn't have a job, you were still making music, you were still learning new skills, you were making music connections, and you're still being active. And the point is, you don't have to be perfect at everything you do. You just need to try to make progress, try to keep going, still show up every day, and things will get better. And you can do it. You can do whatever you put your mind to. God is available, you know, just pray about it. And yeah, yay. Okay, let's end the video at 9:15. 3, 2, 1, bye. Happy New Year.